afternoon, good day, good morning, whatever time you are watching this. Again, we are diving into our 2026 trainings, and our trainings are here to support the 100 Days of Greatness. Again, they always stand on their own. So today we're talking about your database. Our main point is I'm going to show you how to input a name and what you should be tracking when you put somebody into your database so that it makes it easy to find them, to sort them, to target specific people in the future. So that's the main goal, but I do want to make sure that you understand the importance of the database. So that is where we are going to start today. So the database is going to be the core of your business. Okay, statistics show that a seasoned database of people communicated with or you make connections with 30 to 40 times a year, with a balance of connections, right? A variety, including emails, personal touches, social media, and direct mail, are going to result in a constant and consistent long-term referral-based business. Okay. Once your database is established and properly seasoned, meaning that you are making connections with those people on a regular basis, agents can continuously expect 70 to 80% of their business to come from repeat and referral customers for the life of their career. Okay. In some cases, depending on how much business you want to do, 100% of your business may be repeat and referral business. Okay. In addition, your database is going to become your business's most valuable asset, which I think is something people don't talk about enough. Okay. In the future, your database, if tracked and managed appropriately, it can become your exit strategy. Okay. An asset. This would become an asset that you could either sell for a one-time fee in the future if you decide you want to get out of real estate, or maybe you're moving out of the area, or it's an asset you can pass off to another agent and continue to collect referral fees for years in the future. So think about that, right? Your business is nothing. You might be doing 30, 40 deals a year, but if you can't document where those deals are coming from, you don't have a strategy that's going to move forward, you don't have anything really that you can sell, right? Most businesses, part of the joy of a business is, if I've got a restaurant in town and I'm building up clientele, I got clientele coming, and then I decide I want to move, or I'm ready to sit at home and kick my feet up, I can sell that asset because I can show income and I can show the assets related to the business. I can show somebody how to run the business. I can show them where my business is coming from and how successful it is. You want to do the same thing as an agent. So your database is that asset. So just think about that as you're moving through your business. Don't put off, even if you're like, but Amy, I've been in the business for 15 years and I've never had a database. That's fine. Create one today. It's never too late. All right, you can rely on your database to produce revenue for you consistently year in and year out if you maintain it properly. Okay, this comes back to that seasoned statement that I made previously. Statistics show that a properly maintained database is going to produce in a 12-to-1 ratio, or for every 12 contacts you have in your database, it's going to produce one transaction. Okay. When it comes back to seasoning, it can take 6 to 12 months of consistent connections to season a database so that it's going to produce business. So just kind of keep that in mind too. And remember that for most leads or new contacts that you add to your database, the statistics tell us that it's going to take on average 8 connections before they're going to trust you enough to want to do business with you. Okay, so gaining trust takes time, but doing that systematically and consistently is going to lead to success. On a little side note there, talking about that average of 8 connections, think about that if you are hosting open houses as a lead generation strategy, or you're doing a farm. If we're just interacting with that farm once a month, right? We're just going through knocking on doors once a month. It's going to take on average 8 months to start seeing any results, right? To make those 8 connections. So think about that in anything that you're doing, whether it's your database, open house connections, farm, business to business connections, whatever it might be. Think about that. How fast can I get to those 8 connections to build trust and rapport? Okay. So gaining trust takes time, but doing it systematically and consistently leads to success. Okay, in order to reach that 12-to-1 ratio of results from your database, just so you guys know, that's like a conservative number. More recently, if you're doing 30 to 40 interactions per year with those people in your database, the statistics are actually showing it's closer to a 10-to-1 ratio, but we like to be safe, so we're using 12-to-1. But you're going to need to have a plan, okay? If you've watched any of my trainings in the past, I outline what kind of connections, how many connections, when you should be connecting with those people. So just keep that in mind and make sure that you have a database plan. That's going to consist of determining how many connections you're going to make annually. What type of connections are those going to be, right? Are they going to be phone calls, emails, pop-bys, text messages, right? How often you're going to make connections, and also determine how much those connections are going to cost, right? Phone, email, those are pretty cheap. They're free generally, where a pop by is going to cost you something, or maybe you're going to send out like one of those magazines or something. You just want to determine what that connection is going to cost. Your goal is always to stay top of mind with those people in your database. It's not about them doing business with you today. It's when they decide to do business, you want to be the person that they're going to call. Okay, that 30 to 40 connections per year plan has proven to be the most effective. Okay, and again, you want it to be a combination of different types of connection, direct mail, email, text messages, personal calls and visits, and then social media. A campaign that has more than 30 connections annually means that your clients and potential clients will see your name and associate you with real estate 2 to 3 times per month on average. So it's going to be impossible for them to forget that you're there for them. And you're also there for their friends, families, and coworkers when there's a real estate question or need. If you can also connect with your clients on social media, things like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, right? You increase that opportunity to connect and engage throughout the year. And if you use social media properly, they'll follow and engage with you as well, helping to take some of the burden off of you. Okay. Again, you can search my YouTube channel, or maybe if you're watching this on replay, Abby will throw it in the comments section. The link where we go over specific contact plans, okay, what that would look like throughout the year. Today, we're going to be focused on getting your contacts into your database. Okay, 4 irrefutable laws of your database that you should adhere to. The first is that you need to build it. Okay, you have to have a database. Okay, it's really important. I don't care what you use for a database. It could be a spreadsheet, it could be a Rolodex, it could be OneSuite, that's our free one. I would recommend, if you're going free, I would actually use the one that we visited last week as part of our training with the new car forms library. I'll briefly show you that one again at the end of this session, because I think that one's more user friendly than OneSuite. There's also some other benefits to it, which I'm not going to go into right now, but you can feel free to reach out to me. So you have to build it, okay? Or add to it the names that you already have. I have like 2,200 contacts in my phone. That doesn't count people who are on my social media, names that aren't actually saved in my phone, because you'll be surprised how many numbers I have that aren't actually saved, right? So put all those people that you have in your phone on your social media into your database. The second thing, the second law, is that you need to feed it. Okay, you need to grow it with lead generation. We need to be constantly adding to our database. The third thing is that you need to nurture it. Those are the connections or interactions with the people in it. Again, you can look up previous lessons to talk about how to connect with a lead versus a contact, right? Somebody who maybe passed through your open house, or you ran into it at the grocery store. How do you connect with that person is going to be different than someone who knows you and loves you and trusts you already, or that will answer your phone calls. We're going to spend the most time with people who people who are willing to interact with us, and less time with those that aren't. So less time with leads, more times with contacts. But we can cover that in a future lesson, or you can look up that training. You want to make sure The fourth rule of your database, sorry, is to maintain it. You need to be constantly updating the contacts, making sure the information is valid, making sure that you're tagging and grouping contacts. That's really what we're going to focus on today, which makes them easy to find. So let's dive in. Okay, law number one, build it. We're focusing on law 1 and 4 today, which is getting those names in your database and then how to appropriately tag them and maintain them. Okay, in order to get started with a database, you have to have one, so you need to build it, which means two things first. You have to have a system, so you have to choose which system you're going to use. And again, there's no wrong or right system. The one that you're going to be willing to use is the right one. Okay, it could be like one with all the bells and whistles that you pay $1,000 a month for. It could be Follow Up Boss, which I think is like 25 bucks through our office. You could be using OneSuite or the one through the new Zip Forms that's free. You could have a spreadsheet. I don't really care as long as you're going to use it. Okay, the second thing there is, besides use it, is you actually have to put your contacts in that system. For years, I had a database, but I never added new contacts to it. I had people in there, and every once in a while I'd log into it. I didn't actually use it, and I didn't put my new contacts in. So don't do that. Make sure you're putting new people in there. Okay. Let's see here. I think that's it. Oh, once you have your system picked, okay, you have to decide who's going to go in your database. Okay. And if you're like, ooh, that's a good question. The easy answer is everyone. There is no reason somebody should not be in your database. They could be out of state. They could live out of country. Maybe you have military friends who are stationed in Japan. They should be in your database. Number one, they may move back to the States at some point. Number two, they may know people who are looking for an agent. And whether they are local to the area you service or somewhere else in the United States, you can collect a referral fee for connecting them with an agent. Okay. Minimum goal for your database would be 250 contacts, and you want to get there as quick as possible. I think that supports what you're learning if you're taking the 100 days of greatness as well. I think it's right around there. Okay, based on the ratio of 12 to 1 that we talked about, if you had 250 people in your database, that's going to result in about 20 transactions just from your database. Okay. But remember, it may be 6 months or more to get enough interactions to lead to transactions. So if I was off by half, let's say you had 250 people in there and you only got or a half a transaction per 12 people or one per 24, that would be 10 transactions in the next 12 months. I think everybody would be really excited with an extra 10 transactions just from your database. Okay. So the goal again is 250. I would make that my highest priority to have them in there this week. Okay, there are ways that you can upload them in there. So if you can get them all in a spreadsheet or you have them all, or you can actually download your contacts. If you Google how to download your contacts from your phone, it'll download all their information so you can just upload it straight into your system that you choose. Okay, the law number 4 was maintain it. Okay. And that part of that maintaining it is setting it up correctly. Okay. By setting it up correctly, it's going to allow you to send pertinent information to each contact. It's also going to help avoid losing touch or allowing clients or leads to fall through the cracks. So in order to maintain it, you have to have the contact's information. Okay. This is going to include a way to contact them. Without a way to contact them, a contact in your database is probably worthless. Wah, wah, wah. That doesn't mean if you don't have a way to contact them, we're going to throw them out. We're going to do our best to find that contact information. For every contact, your goal should be to have their name, their phone number, an email address, and a physical address. Okay. Eventually, you're going to want some bonus information as well. Bonus items might be things like their birthdays, wedding anniversaries, home anniversaries, kids, how many kids they have, their kids' names, maybe their kids' ages, types of pet that they have, their pets' names, maybe their social media platform information, right? So that would all be bonus items. The more complete their contact information is, the better. And you can make it the goal of each interaction to fill in the missing information. For instance, in January, you may focus on their mailing address, right? So every phone call that we make in January or every contact that we're putting in there, our goal might be to make sure that we get their mailing address. February, you might be focused on wedding anniversaries since it's the month of love after all, right? So are you tracking with me? So we can each month make it a goal to collect missing information. If you're like, Amy, yeah, but what do I do? Just be like, can I get their mail? Can I get your mailing address? Yeah, you could absolutely do that. Or you could say, hey, I'd like to get you out a report of what's going on with the value of your home. Can I get your address so that I can mail it to you? Or so I can look that up, right? Or you could confirm with them. Sometimes what's helpful is, oh, I have your email address as kristenprice@gmail.com. Is that right? And they're gonna be like, no, that's not my email address. Oh, great. What's your email address so I can fix it, right? So just make something up and then have them correct it for you. Okay. A lot of times we have title search records and different things. So a lot of times you can look up if they own a house, what their address is, if they've passed through your open house or whatnot, you know they're a homeowner, or maybe they're a friend, you can look it up. It'll tell you what the date is that they bought that house. That's the home anniversary. So you can confirm that information with them as well. That gives you a reason to call them. All right. In addition to making sure we have those 4 basic pieces of information, you're going to want to categorize the contacts in your database. Okay, here's how I recommend that you categorize your database. And remember, the more specific you are, the better. The first thing that you want to do is you're going to mark every contact by the source, or where did you meet them? It could be a friend or family member, right? It might be a referral. It could be an open house. It could be former workplaces or current workplaces. If you also have a job outside of real estate, it could be church, Rotary, kids events, etc., right? The main reason that we want to identify the source is it's going to allow us to track where our clients come from. Okay, this is going to allow us in the future to focus our efforts in the future, right? So if we're tracking, if we're doing a farm and an open house for lead generation and social media, and we're adding those people to our database as we make connections with them, then it allows us to see where our return on our investment is. Who's the most people that we've added to our database? If we're going to do, like, if it's a referral from a friend, maybe they are our friend, right? And we go, oh, it's a referral from Jake, right? We can tag it that way. And then that way we know, oh my gosh, look, Jake referred 4 people to me this year. I need to pour into him and go out for coffee and send him a prize and a present and make sure that he knows that I appreciate what he does, right? So we want to make sure that we tag and track the source. The next thing that you want to do, so everybody should get tagged with a source. Even if they're out of your phone, how do you know that person? Okay. Then we're going to want to add them to groups. This is going to allow us to target interactions with them. Some groups that you might want to use are past clients, vendors, right? Those are like business owners that supply something for you. Your COI or your circle of influence. Some people call it SOI. Either way. Are they local? Are they out of state? Are they one of your referral partners? What is their city of residence? And people may have more than one group, right? Somebody might be tagged as a past client. They might be tagged as local. They might be tagged as Vacaville, right? They might be tagged as a homeowner or an investor, right? So who knows? So we want to have groups. These groups are going to be different than how you met them. Okay, we already talked about we want to tag them with how you met them, and then we want to add them to groups. And again, people may fall into several groups. This is going to allow us that if we have people that are tagged as renters, then we could send out an email specific to renters talking about the benefits of buying a home or why now is the right time to buy. If we have people that are homeowners, right, and we know that they own their home, then when we can group them that way, then we may want to send them information on picking up investment properties, right? So again, people may fall into several groups. So we want to tag the source. We want to put them into groups. And then I would want to tag them or identify, are they captured or connected? Or are they leads or contacts? Okay. In case you haven't been on a training with me before, or you really just like the example, I really just like the example. That's why I just like to keep going over it. Is I think of it like animals or pets versus zoo animals. Okay. Somebody who is captured or is a lead, so lead or captured, right? You can decide how you want to use that term. Those are like zoo animals. We have trapped them in a cage. We have named them. We know their name. They are trapped. We can contact them, but that doesn't mean that they're going to come contact us. Okay. Versus our contacts or those that we have connections with. Those are like your pet, right? Most of the time when you call your pet probably comes to you, or they should. You should probably work on that. If not, you may want to trap them in a cage. So anyways, so that would be like a pet, right? Somebody who, if we call or text them, they're probably going to respond. They at least know who we are. That's going to be those that we're connected with. Again, we're going to spend the most time with those that we're connected with. We're going to approach it differently with those leads or those captures than we do those that we're connected with. So we want to make sure we group those separately. Our contacts should also be tagged with their intent. Okay, so source, groups, captured versus connected or lead versus connected, and then tagged with their intent. Are they a buyer, a seller, or an investor? Somebody who owns a home is going to be a potential seller. Somebody who doesn't own a home is going to be a potential buyer. And then somebody who's expressed an interest in investing is going to be an investor. Okay. Next, we want to know how frequently to contact them. So we want to tag them with their timeline of when they intend to purchase or sell. Okay. Some contacts may not have a timeline, and that's okay. If they have expressed that they're thinking about buying or selling, there's lots of different ways that you can do that. However, I would recommend the month or season and the year that they intend to transact. Okay, so for example, it might be like June of 2026 or summer of 2026. Okay, be consistent in your tags. If you're going to use months, do that consistently. If you're going to use seasons, do that consistently. It'll just make it easier when you go to sort your contacts to figure out who you need to be connecting with more frequently if it's consistent. And then you want to tag them with a relationship ranking. Okay, this is also something that you're covering if you're going through the 100 days of greatness. You may want to be something like there's no wrong or right answer to this. It could be somebody like an A, B, or C contact. It could be like gold, silver, or bronze, but you want at least like 3 to 4 categories where you can tag that relationship. Okay. Your gold, maybe people that have already transacted with you or they've referred people to you. Okay, those are going to be your cheerleaders. Okay, gold cheerleaders. They know you, they love you, they trust you. Somebody says real estate, they say Amy. Okay, silver might be those that know you, but maybe they haven't transacted with you, but you're looking to gain their business. Okay, you're pretty sure they're probably going to transact with you. We're working to build that relationship so that we know they're going to. And then bronze might be people that you met at an open house. Maybe they aren't responding to your messages or calls. Those people that maybe you don't yet have a relationship with. Okay, and then finally, I would recommend tagging them with missing information. Okay, I believe the car CRM that we have access to through Zip Forms now actually automatically tags them with missing information. But if you don't have a phone number, an email address, an address, tag them as such so that you can just search your database with no phone and it'll pull up all the people that you don't have a phone number for so that you know you need to be emailing those people, looking them up on social media, that you need to find a way to track down their phone number. Okay, so source, groups, captured versus connected, their intent, their timeline, rank them in relationship, and then tag them with missing information. Any questions about how to input people into your database to keep track of them? Okay, as we have people in our database, And we begin interacting with those people. Make sure that you make notes of every interaction. Okay. This is going to include emails, text messages, phone calls, social media interactions, and in-person interactions. Okay. You'll want to note the day and what the conversation was about, and also add to your task list or calendar when the next interaction should be and what should be discussed. If you're sending out emails, oftentimes if you're doing it through your CRM, if your CRM allows you to do that, send out emails or text messages, it's going to automatically track that for you. It may not track the responses though. So if somebody responds to it, you may want to track that in there. If you're using a spreadsheet, then you're going to need to track everything. When was the last email that was sent out? What was the content of it? When should the next interaction be? Right? And make sure that you add those to your calendar, or if you're using a CRM with a task list, you can add it to your task list. Okay, so make sure to take notes. There's no excuse for not taking notes of the interactions. Oh, on that note, I'm going to note there is nothing that annoys me more than somebody who calls me and says, "Oh, the last time we talked 2 months ago, you said to give me a call." And I'm like, "No, I didn't tell you to call me." Or, "Yeah, I did tell you to call me, but I told you that, this is what was going on. So you should be following up with me on that content." And they don't, because they didn't take notes. So make sure you're taking notes so that you can pick back up right where you left off, and that you don't lie to people. Oh, all right. So homework. You don't have it yet, add people to your database. If you have all your people in your database, make sure that you've tagged it appropriately. You've grouped people, you've categorized them, okay? And then put together that plan for interaction. All right, so let's hop over. I'm going to stop sharing real quick, and I'm going to share my other screen. We will walk you through, if you're using, I'll show you OneSuite as well as the new Zip Forms CRM. So give me just a second here. All right. To get to OneSuite, you just go to your one login. You should have the little one shortcut on your dashboard. If not, you can go into the office. They'll show you how to do that, and then that takes you to your one user portal. So you can select OneSuite. If it's not here, you can search by suite up here, or go to everything. They're alphabetical. Once you're inside of OneSuite, over on the left-hand side, you can go to your contacts and leads, and then click on contacts and leads. Okay, this is where we can go, hey, we want to add a new contact by clicking the little black new. It's the first black option there on the left-hand side. That's going to pop up that screen where you can put people in there. You can select title, first name, last name, middle name. Okay. How do you want them mapped? Okay, that's going to be like, how do you want it sorted in your database? So this says first, last. It's going to sort it by first name. So if I go here, it shows them here as, oops, I don't know why it didn't cancel. Yes. Mine show up as first name, last name. So that's how it sorts my contacts and leads and how they show up, instead of being last name, comma, first name. So just know and you can go in there and change it. And then it'll show you as how that's going to show up. So if I put in first, middle, last, notice here it says first, last, so that's how it's gonna file it. You can change that around. You can have it sort by company. You can go last name, first name with their company in parentheses. So there's so many options here that you can do, last, first, company, right? So depending on how you want to do it. Oops, let's go first, last. You can add them to contact groups. Okay, if you have groups already set up, you can just go, hey, browse. And here's your captured, right, versus clients, right? So I've captured and connected. I have gold, inner circle, neighbor, open house, referral, right? So you can have those in there. You can select multiple people or multiple groups, right? So these inside here. This is how you want to like your source, your ranking system should be in here. If they're missing a phone number, that might be a group. I think this, let's see if it has separate groups versus tags, just campaign tags. So yeah, so everything in OneSuite is going to be under your groups. Okay. Um, you can add new groups, super simple. We just click add new group 1, right? And then hit save. It creates that record. So it's super easy if the group doesn't currently exist to add it in there. I don't know why it won't let me out. Save and close. That's why. Let's try that. There we go. Okay. So it automatically added that one to it. Campaign tags, this is how you tag people and add them to campaigns inside of OneSuite. A campaign would be like an auto send type feature, like a set it and forget it. So like a happy birthday campaign or a monthly newsletter campaign, you can add them there to that. Here's their birthday, their home anniversary. You can add a picture. So if you have a photo of them, you can go on their social media and steal a picture and throw that on there if we don't have one. And then it's got a separate system down here for rating. Okay, that might be how soon so it's got 1 through 5. That might be like your gold, silver, bronze. You might have like a platinum, gold, silver, bronze, and copper, right? Or A plus, A, B, C, and D clients. Your 5s or 1s, whichever way you go, might be those people that you're like, don't contact that person ever again. They were miserable to work with. I don't ever want to have another conversation with them. We don't delete those people out of our database. We just tag them appropriately because we don't want them showing up on our phone and us being forgetting how miserable it was. We want them tagged appropriately. It's going to tag them, just so you know, on OneSuite, when we tag them here, that's where the stars come into play. If you can see the stars kind of on the right-hand side, that's where you'll get those. Here's their contact information. You have the ability to put in 3 emails, a home phone, a mobile phone, business phone 2, business fact, their IM address, webpage, company, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. Okay, so you can put in all of those links to make it easy to go and see what they're up to. You can put in their spouse's information here as well, including their spouse's birthday. You can put in their preferred mailing address. Okay. Other address, you've got home, business, and other. So that would be like an investment property. You're limited to like 3 there. And then you have notes here. This is where you would add in, if you had a conversation with them or whatnot, you could add it into notes. Okay. So that's how you really easily input somebody into there. We are going to cancel out of there. I'm going to search. Give me just a second. This top toolbar inside of OneSuite allows you to search your contacts. It's going to pull up first agents and then contacts down here. So if we want to pull up a contact, this is what it looks like once you save somebody in there. Makes it really easy if you need to update an email address during your maintenance, okay, or add email, change phones, add home addresses. You can hit view more. Okay, super simple there. It tells you which active marketing campaigns you have, when the last interaction was. They got a market report on the 9th of January. Latest activity. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Latest contact activity, checked in to follow up on the 11th of February last year. Next task is a happy birthday card that needs to go out before the birthday. View sent emails, view sent text messages, and view chat history. Okay. Here's the tasks that are upcoming. So you can save tasks in here. So it makes it super simple. Okay. So that's what that looks like. So there's how to input somebody into OneSuite. There is a way to add in a whole group. Let's see here. If I hit new, it doesn't allow me there. There is a way to upload people to this. We want to cancel. And just so you know, if you use this for lead generation, like these people came in through lead generation activities, they clicked on my agent website, it automatically assigns that source to them with a request type. So just so you know, that's what they look like when they add people in, it marks them as a lead. I was trying to figure out how to bulk add leads in here. Oh, contact import or export. So on the toolbar on the left-hand side of the page under contacts and leads, you've got contact import or export. That's how you would import contacts. You hit next. How do you want to do that? And it could be an Outlook, CSV, Gmail. Okay, so there's lots of different things. If we hit next, select your file. Okay, you would select that file that you had, but that's how you would import people in to do it in bulk. Super simple. Any questions about OneSuite before I hop over to our ZipForm CRM? All right, so there was your brief overview of getting people into OneSuite. Our ZipForm CRM, the new one, most of the time when you pull up, it's going to pull you into Transact. So this is just going to car.org, clicking on transactions, going into zip forms. If you haven't swapped over to the new updated system yet, I recommend that you do that. We hosted a training on it last week. I believe it's posted already, so you can watch that training of how to navigate through here. But usually it's going to pull you up somewhere here in this transact workflow and usually on the list of transactions. At least that's where mine opens up to. It kind of looks more like this with transactions. But if you want to use the CRM up here in the upper left-hand corner where the little wolf is, you click that transact and it gives you your other options. If I go to contacts, this is where you can input contacts into the CRM if you want to use this one. Again, I think this one's actually a little bit more user-friendly than OneSuite is as far as building out interaction campaigns and such. All of them have pluses and minuses to them. The nice thing about this one is it's one thing instead of two separate platforms as far as using this zip forms for your transaction management and then bouncing back over to OneSuite. There's no wrong or right answer here. To add a new contact, we just come up here and hit the new contact. You can also, this drop down is how you would import them from a file. So you could, if you were using OneSuite and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to use Lone Wolf contacts, you could export them from OneSuite and import them into Lone Wolf contacts. So totally up to you, but you could do that. We just hit new contact if we're just going to add one. Here you've got first name, last name, type, right? Are they work or personal or none? That's for your email. Okay, so most of the time it's going to be like a personal email. Phone number here, right? It's probably cell, so it gives you a little bit more drop downs. Categories, are they a client, vendor, agent, or lead? Lead source, you can add lead sources. So they from farm, open house, prospecting, referral, social media, website, right? You click add. Here's where you can enter in all those tags so that you can sort them appropriately. Okay, we've already got source. We've already got what they're in, kind of their categories, and here you could use lead versus client for connected versus contacted. But then how often do you want to connect with them? All that would be under tags. Okay. And then you can add notes here. You would just save that contact. If we want to enter in another one, you hit save, add another. We're going to open up. This is what this looks like inside of this. Once you've added that contact in there, super easy to edit information with the little pencil over here, opens up that contact. You've also got custom fields and you can add more custom fields. That's part of the reason I like this system is you can add an unlimited number of custom fields. Here, you can add notes, websites. You can also add multiple houses. So if somebody has addresses down here, if they've got like a main address, right, primary residence and investment properties, you can add multiple addresses there just by clicking the little plus. Okay, and you can add, is it vacation home, investment, their work address, right? Where the other one just had limited number. You can enter in up to 3 addresses. So this one has unlimited. So I kind of like that one. Here's your to-dos for this person, calendar. You can link your calendar in here so that these automatically get posted onto your calendar or keep it separate. Here's your opportunities, so you can track it inside of here. I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. And then any transactions would show up over here on the right-hand side. Here's your notes. Here's where you would track those emails, and you can also send text messages from this. So I like it. I think it's a little bit more user-friendly. This layout appeals to me a little bit more. So anyways, that's why I like this one. Again, there's no wrong or right answer. Both of these are free. They're free options. Follow-up Boss, also pretty cheap. It's only like 25 bucks a month through our office. Contact Ed to be connected with that. If you sign up for Follow Up Boss on your own, it's a couple $100 a year or a month, sorry, I believe. So there's that there. Okay, I was going to show you what this transactions look like, just so you know. So if we go back to contacts, close out of this person. Anyways, so that makes it super simple there. You can too up here under relationships. We can sort through to-dos. You can do this in OneSuite too. When you open up OneSuite, it starts with your task list that needs to be done. So here's what's due today. You should be running your business out of your CRM if you have one that allows you to do so. Everything should be in there as far as who you should be following up with this week, who needs birthday cards, who needs home value reports. It's January. You should be sending out any closings from last year, should get a copy of their closing statement. So this would be the place to be able to make sure to put that to-do list in here. So here is that to-do list. It also has a link to your calendar. And again, you can link your Google Calendar in here. Contacts is where we started. Okay. Communicate. This is your inbox, sent, scheduled, and templates. And then automations, which you can set up to automate different workflows depending on how you want to run that. Okay, so that was under relationships. But if we come back into transact, I just want to show you what this looks like. Again, it opens to transactions on mine. Okay, I've got it set up here. It shows what phase they're in under transactions. Let's see here. Somehow. Oh, I think we have to go to home. I think that's why. And I haven't played around with the settings on this, but I believe you can probably change where it brings you in when you log in. Here, it's got those links to different things that we've been visiting. It's got your products, recent transactions, Authenticign, and then relationships here. Here's where it shows those opportunities. So if we want to see all inside of relationships, let's see here. It usually groups them by, okay, hold on. Views. Oh, it's because I think here's the opportunities. So it would tag them this way. When we look at opportunity types, you could do contains. This would search all buyers. So once you plug them in as an opportunity, but there's another way to view this, or there was, I've probably messed it up because let's see here. We're going to clear all. There's a way to toggle back to the grid. I just can't seem to do it today. Hmm. Um, yeah. Anyways, if you set it up as the grid, it lists it by like opportunity. So it lists all of your like um leads and hot leads and open opportunities. Here's your open opportunities. So if you've got somebody who's transitioning through to a buyer, then you know you need to contact them more often. So it's got it set up that way. But sorry, I'm not able to find how to toggle back over to it. It's really kind of bothering me, but I'll figure it out. We showed you last week how to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I give up. So anyways, so there you go on that. Any questions on your Zip Form CRM? So those are kind of highlighting the two free CRMs that you have access to. Your one through OneSuite, okay? And then your one through Zip Forms. And again, to get to the Zip Forms one, it's just car.org, Realtor Secure Transactions. You're just logging into Zip Forms, and this is the new layout. So if you haven't swapped over to that yet, if it gives you that option, let it, uh, if it gives you that option, go ahead and transition over. And if you don't have that option, then what you can do is you go in the Zip Forms, go to create a new transaction. It's going to ask you whether you want to do it in the old version or the new version. Click the new version. That will transition you over to the new format. And don't panic when you get over there if we go into Zip Forms, just because I'm telling you to go ahead and switch over. Please do it. We go into Transact. Just know that you can toggle back into your Zip Forms because it's not going to pull your existing transactions into the new one, only the new transaction starting forward. So if you've got somebody, you've already got a buyer in transaction or a listing going, you can toggle back over to that. Just so I don't want you to panic when you swap over. That's how I started, was with a panic. But you can just, inside of transactions, click on this little zip form here at the top, and it'll pull open all of your zip form transactions. When you click on one of these, it's going to open you up into zip form. So just be prepared for that. So anyways, I hope you found this training helpful. I hope you have a better idea now of how to get people into your database, how to tag them appropriately, and how to maintain it so that you have an idea of how to set it up properly from the very beginning. If it's not set up and you already have one, make that your mission, besides getting all of your contacts in there, would be to start managing that, get everybody tagged appropriately. Maybe the month of January, you're like, I just need everybody tagged as either a connection or a contact or captured, right? A lead versus contact, so that I can start there. Maybe in February, you're going to go through and tag everybody with the lead source, right? So you can make steps in the right directions come the end of the year, or maybe with each phone call, you're going to try to fill in that missing information. So I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to answer any questions at any time. Hope you guys have a fabulous day, and we will see you next week.